China is officially known as the People's Republic of China. Its capital is the city of Beijing, and it is its communications center. It is also its cultural and economic center. Shanghai is its industrial city, while Hong Kong is the port and trade center in China. China is distinguished by its diverse climate. The climate ranges from dry in the northwestern parts to seasonal and tropical climate in the southeastern regions, and it is one of the countries where temperatures vary greatly among the countries of the world, especially between the northern and southern borders. 1. The plant wealth in China also varies, as there are most of the types of plants found in the world, with the exception of plants that live in the polar regions, in addition to the diversity of livestock. In China, there are many strange animals in the world, and China is an ethnically homogeneous country despite the diversity of cultures and languages in it, and despite it has a very large population, but there are many uninhabited areas. 1. China was one of the prosperous and pioneering countries in various arts and sciences over the past centuries, but at the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century, the country began to suffer from civil and military unrest. Major famines also occurred there, and it was also subjected to foreign occupation. After World War II, the Chinese government decided to develop China, and the Chinese Communist Party was founded when the country was under the rule of Mao Tse, where his regime was socialist and authoritarian in power. He was succeeded by the rulers of China who intended to establish with economic development and improving the population's standard of living. It is worth noting that China later regained its prosperity, developed, and participated in global organizations since the beginning of the 90s. Location of China. China is a country in East Asia, and is characterized by a strategic location, as it is bordered by Mongolia to the north, with a border length of 4,630 kilometers, in addition to Russia, with a border length of 46 kilometers from the northwest direction, and to the northeast, it is bordered by the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, with a border length of 1,352 kilometers, and Russia, with a length of 4,133 kilometers. China overlooks the Yellow Sea from the east, in addition to the East China Sea, and on its southern borders there is Hong Kong, which extends 33 kilometers, in addition to Macau, which extends only 3 kilometers. Also located on its southern borders are the South China Sea and the Gulf of Tonkin. Vietnam is 1,297 kilometers long, and Laos is 475 kilometers long. 2. China is bordered by Myanmar in the southwestern direction, and India is bordered by 2,695 kilometers, in addition to Bhutan, 477 kilometers long, and Nepal, 1,389 kilometers long. India also shares borders with it from the western direction. It also shares Jammu, Kashmir, and Pakistan with a border length of 438 kilometers, and Afghanistan with a border length of 91 kilometers. As for the northwestern direction, it is bordered by Tajikistan along a border extension of about 477 kilometers, in addition to Kyrgyzstan with a border length of 1,063 kilometers, and Kazakhstan along a border length of 1,765 kilometers. The total length of China's borders with the neighboring countries are about 22,475 square kilometers. 2. The area of China is about 9,569,960 square kilometers and is divided into 9,326,410 square kilometers of land and 270,550 square kilometers of water bodies. China ranks 5th among the countries of the world in terms of area, and China is considered one of the largest countries in East Asia. It is said that it occupies nearly the entire land area of East Asia, and its area is equivalent to the area of the entire continent of Europe, 1, and it is slightly smaller than the United States of America, and its agricultural land area amounts to 54.7% of the total area and is divided into arable land by 11.3%, permanent croplands accounted for 1.6%, permanent pastures accounted for 41.8%, forests accounted for 22.3% of the total area, while the percentage of lands for other uses reached about 23%. Population of China. The population of China is about 1,379,302,771 people, and according to 2017 estimates, it has the largest population among the countries in the world. The population growth rate is about 0.41%, and thus it ranks 160th among the countries of the world. As for the birth rate, it is about 12.3% per 100 people, which is thus, it ranks 161st among the countries of the world, while the death rate is about 7.8 deaths per 100 people, which makes it ranked 101st among the countries of the world. The average age of the total population is 37.4 years, and the average age of males is about 36.5 years, while the average age of females is about 36.5 years. Most of China's population is concentrated in the eastern half of the country. It can be said that despite the high population in China, the population density is lower than some other countries in Asia and Europe, and it is worth noting that the population density is high along the valleys of the Yangtze River, the Yellow River valleys, and the Xizjiang River Delta. In addition to the industrial zone around climate of China, most of the Chinese lands are located within the temperate regions. However, the climate there varies according to its diverse topography. The average minimum temperature in it reaches from -27 degrees Celsius, equivalent to -17 degrees Fahrenheit in northern Manchuria, to reach -1 degree Celsius, which is the equivalent of 30 degrees Fahrenheit in the southern part of Manchuria and the plains of northern China. The temperature also reaches 4 degrees Celsius, equivalent to 39 degrees Fahrenheit along the Yangtze River Valley, and the temperature in the south reaches about 16 degrees Celsius, equivalent to 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Temperatures rise in summer, especially in July, to reach 27 degrees Celsius, which is equivalent to 81 degrees Fahrenheit. 3. Temperatures are generally higher in central and southern China than in the northern parts of it. In summer, temperatures are lower and the nights are hot. It is cold in the northern regions of the country in the summer, and rain falls in the summer in general, as the rainfall rate is large in the southern and southeastern regions, reaching 200 centimeters. The northwest reaches approximately 10 centimeters. It is worth noting that the Chinese lands are classified in terms of humidity into arid lands with 31% of the total area, 22% of which are dry lands, 15% of which are semi-humid lands, and 32% are wet lands. 3. China's economy has moved. China moved from a closed and centralized economic system to an open system oriented towards the global market, and this has been since the late 70s, as the Chinese government has undertaken several gradual reforms that have led to an increase in the gross domestic product by more than 10 times what it was since 1978 AD, and these reforms included agriculture and price liberalization, and increased the independence of government companies. It also helped the growth of the private sector, led to the development of banking systems, and increased openness to trade and foreign investment. The state also supported major sectors significantly, and in 2013, China became one of the largest global trading countries. In 2014, China surpassed the United States of America in terms of economy. It is worth noting that by 2016, China had become one of the countries with the largest economy in the world. Despite this, the Chinese per capita income is lower than the global average.